pineapple dessert I learned from an American chef. To start today's recipe, let's put 7 pieces of pineapple into a pan. I'm sure you'll be surprised with the final result of this dessert. Next, let's put a 1/4 cup of pineapple gelatin in a bowl, and also 1 cup of hot water. I'll mix everything well. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Emily Carter from Boston. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Now I'll add 1 cup of room temperature water. Let's mix again. With just a few everyday ingredients, we can make a dessert much tastier than those sold in traditional restaurants. I make it almost every week. It was the owner of a 5-star restaurant in the US who taught me this recipe. Once our mixture reaches the right consistency, we'll pour it over the pineapple slices we added to the pan earlier. I'll place it in the fridge for about an hour. In a blender, I'll put another 1/4 cup of pineapple gelatin and also 1 cup of hot water. I have no doubt it will become part of your routine, just like it became part of mine. It's very easy to prepare, no reason not to try. I'll add 2 cups of heavy cream. This is the secret to get the perfect consistency, making the dessert creamy and delicious. When I make it at home, there's never anything left. It's simply impossible to eat just 1 piece. After mixing everything very well, we'll pour our mixture with heavy cream over everything. Look how beautiful it's turning out. We'll place it in the fridge for another 90 minutes. With the help of a tray or large plate, we'll remove our recipe from the pan. Besides being beautiful, it also tastes amazing. This is one of the top-selling desserts during hot days in the US. Almost every place has its own version. Try making it to share with your family. I'm sure everyone will love it and even ask where you learned it. If you're someone who, like me, loves refreshing fruit desserts, I'm sure you won't stop making it. If you don't believe me, try it and then come back to tell me your experience. I'd love to know. How didn't I learn this before? A genius trick I learned from a friend in Italy. To start today's recipe, we're gonna open up a chicken breast, just like I'm doing here. Cover it with some plastic wrap and use a meat mallet to tenderize it. I bet you've never tried anything like this before. It's super easy, practical, and fast to make. Now we're gonna cut the chicken using a pot lid as a guide, just like this. Then move it into a bowl with all-purpose flour, just enough to coat it. Even your friends and family are gonna ask where you learned to do this. Make sure to cover it well with flour. In another bowl, crack 3 eggs, add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it all up using a fork. Now add 3 minced garlic cloves, parsley to taste, and 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. Oh, and before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can give you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Emily Bennett from Chicago. So glad you're loving our recipes. In a pan, add 1 tablespoon of butter and let it melt. Now coat the chicken in the egg mixture we made, making sure it's fully covered. Then place it in the pan and let it fry. Flip it carefully so both sides cook evenly. Once it reaches a golden color, take it out. In the same pan, pour in 1 cup of chicken broth, add 3 minced garlic cloves, and squeeze in 1/2 a lime. Add parsley to taste. After I learned to cook chicken this way, I never wanted to eat it any other way. Add another tablespoon of butter and stir it in. Place the chicken back in the pan and let it cook in the sauce. Be careful not to burn it. I'm sure this will become your favorite go-to dinner. Perfect for those days when you don't have a lot of time to cook. My family loves it so much, they ask me to make it almost every week. It's literally impossible to eat just one piece. I'm sure it'll become a regular dish at your place too, just like it did for me.
I discovered the best homemade ice cream recipe in the world. Only 3 ingredients. Add 3 1/3 cups of well-chilled heavy whipping cream to a bowl. With the help of a mixer, beat the cream very well until it stiffens. Notice that the result is a very creamy whipped cream. To this, add 1 1/4 cups of cocoa powder. My cocoa is 50% cocoa. Using a spatula, mix these ingredients well. I'll use the mixer again, but I like to fold in the chocolate first to avoid splatters in my kitchen. Stir with a spoon or spatula. This tip is super handy to avoid mess in the kitchen. After lightly mixing, remove the excess from the spatula and get the mixer back. Beat well with the mixer to fully incorporate the cocoa powder. This is the perfect result of the cocoa powder mixed into our whipped cream. The last ingredient in our recipe is sweetened condensed milk. Add 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk to your bowl. I guarantee this ice cream recipe is so delicious that you won't want to buy store-bought anymore. Repeat the process and mix again. The condensed milk not only makes the ice cream sweeter, but also makes the cream smoother, more homogeneous, and shiny. Now, just transfer it to a larger bowl. The texture of the ice cream is so delicious that my mouth is already watering. Now you must make this recipe at home because I'm teaching you a super valuable recipe. A recipe to make at home, simple and super easy. Make it to please your kids because you're going to thank me. My mouth is already watering because the ice cream smells wonderful. A simple and easy recipe to make at home. Did you notice I only used 3 ingredients and made this huge amount of ice cream? Spread it well in your pan. The result is beautiful and so delicious. Make it at home. Freeze for at least 4 hours. Soon I'll show you the result of our ice cream. And here is the result of our ice cream after a few hours in the freezer. I'm going to serve a generous portion. Notice that it stays creamy with a soft texture and doesn't get too hard. I'm narrating, but my mouth is watering. Serve a generous portion for yourself and your family. You can also make it at home and leave it in the freezer overnight. Serve it at lunch, and you'll please your whole family. Now, I'll show you an optional topping. Add strawberry syrup on top. But if you prefer more balanced desserts, just add the ice cream and enjoy. Enjoy this perfect ice cream for your summer, and bon appetit. Shall we eat?
I discovered the trick that changed my life in the kitchen. Now, I only make chicken this way. For this recipe, we'll need 1 frozen chicken breast, and I'm going to grate it using a peeler. Tell me which chicken recipe is the most popular in your home. I'd love to know. Now I'll transfer everything to a bowl. Here we have 2 potatoes, and we'll also grate them using the peeler. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching us from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Daniel Moore from Chicago. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Once that's done, I'll add them to the same bowl. We'll need 1 onion, and we'll do the same with it. We'll add the onion to the bowl. Now I'm going to grate 200 grams of mozzarella cheese, and we'll put it in the bowl, then add 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and mix it all together really well. Make this recipe at home and come back to tell me what you thought. I'm sure you and your whole family will love it. In a pan, I'm going to add a bit of oil, 1 tablespoon of butter, and stir until it melts. Once that's done, I'll transfer all the mixture into the pan. And I'll smooth it out with a spoon so it's nice and even. I'll cover and let it cook for 15 minutes. After that, I'll flip it using a plate and put it back in the pan. Cover again and leave it for another 10 minutes. After removing it from the pan and placing it on a plate, I'll sprinkle some parsley on top. It gives that special touch to our recipe. This recipe is absolutely delicious.
Everyone is grating frozen chicken breast after seeing this genius idea. To start our recipe, we grate a frozen chicken breast into hot water and cook it for a few minutes. After cooking, you'll notice the color change in the chicken, so we remove it from the water and set it aside. Let me know what you're thinking of the recipe so far. I'd love to hear. Now in a bowl, we add 2 eggs, half a cup of milk. I'm mixing these ingredients really well. Then I add half a cup of wheat flour and mix everything until smooth. Now I add the cooked, grated chicken to the mixture. I'm going to add 200 grams of shredded mozzarella here. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Emily Johnson from San Antonio, Texas. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Now we add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and stir just enough to blend everything and help the mixture rise in the oven. In a glass baking dish, I add a bit of olive oil and brush it across the bottom. Then I pour in the mixture and spread it evenly. Some recipes you try just once and suddenly they become a routine. That's what happened here. I made it without any expectations, and now every time I make it, someone comments, either about the smell or how good it looks. I place slices of tomato on top, slices of half a red bell pepper, mozzarella to taste. You can't rush this part. I like to go slow, paying attention to every detail because that's what makes everything come out even and beautiful in the end. I sprinkle some oregano on top. Then we bake it in the oven at 356 degrees Fahrenheit for about 40 minutes. There are recipes you try once, just to test, and without realizing it, they become part of your routine. That's exactly what happened with this one. I made it just to use up some ingredients, and now it's one of my most repeated. Every time I make it, someone nearby comments on the smell or the look. And the best part is, there's no mystery. It works every time.